I once thought nothing could shake me. I've worked in crawl spaces full of rats. I've fixed furnaces that were one spark away from blowing. I've pulled dead birds out of air vents, and once found a whole damn raccoon family living in someone's ductwork. I'm not squeamish, but what happened to me inside St. Elora General Hospital, that broke me. It wasn't a jump scare. It wasn't some weird noise in the dark. It was something deeper. It got into my bones, into my head. Even now, years later, I wake up drenched in sweat, because I hear that same voice, whispering from the shadows. And the worst part, I wasn't even supposed to be there. Let me rewind. I'm Josh Redmond. I'm 29. I work HVAC heating, ventilation, and air conditioning for a small company out of Cincinnati. It's good work, quiet, steady, pays the bills. But about 3 years ago, I got into a side hobby, urban exploration. Blame boredom. I'd fix some old boiler in a school, then wander off to see what the rest of the building looked like. Abandoned warehouses, rusting amusement parks, even a defunct drive-in theater once. Most of the time it's just peeling paint and the occasional squatter. But it scratches that itch, like I'm walking through time, like I'm seeing something the world left behind. That's how I found St. Elora. It was a Wednesday, middle of October. Gray skies, spitting rain, the kind of cold that makes your knuckles crack. I'd finished a furnace repair job about an hour away and had nothing planned for the rest of the day. On my drive back, I saw a road sign that said, St. Elora, 6 miles. That name triggered something. A post I'd read on a Reddit thread for urban explorers. Some guy mentioned an old hospital there. Boarded up, but still standing. Used to be a general hospital until the state shut it down in 1995 after a bunch of lawsuits and rumors. No guards, no security, just a fence and bad vibes. Naturally, I took the exit. From the outside, the place looked like every horror movie hospital you've ever seen. Brick building, 5 stories high, windows shattered or covered in metal sheets. Vines choking the walls. A rusted ambulance half buried in weeds. I parked around back near the loading dock and geared up. Flashlight, crowbar, water, knife, because you never know. I found a side entrance that had been busted open long ago. Inside was pitch dark, and the smell, a cocktail of mold, wet concrete, rotting insulation, and something else I couldn't place. Something sweet and foul, like meat left out too long. I remember laughing to myself and saying, "Great, let's go get haunted." If I knew what was coming, I would have turned around right there. I started on the first floor. The main lobby had a collapsed ceiling. Old wheelchairs lay tipped over like someone ran out in a hurry. Graffiti everywhere. One wall had help us spray painted over a patient directory. I took pictures, room by room, x-ray machines coated in dust, file cabinets spilling yellowed documents. An operating room still had surgical tools laid out like someone planned to use them. It was creepy, sure, but familiar. I'd seen worse. But then I found the elevator shaft. It had no doors, just black space. The elevator car was stuck between floors. My flashlight caught the edge of it, metal cables swaying slightly. I stared at it too long. That's when the noise started. A cough, short, dry. It echoed from upstairs. I froze. I was alone. No footsteps in the dust, no fresh signs of entry. That cough didn't belong. I should have left. Instead, I went up. The second floor was pediatrics. Colorful paint faded into grime. Cartoon bears and stars cracked across the walls. Cribs and 4 stands rusting in corners. One hallway was lined with glass observation windows, and every window had a handprint. Small, child-sized, pressed into the glass from the inside. Some were smudged, others looked like they were dragging down. It chilled me in a way I couldn't explain. Then I heard it, a whisper, right at my ear. One word, stay. I spun around. No one. But one of the doors behind me was now open. I'd walked past it seconds ago. It had been closed, I was sure. I stepped inside. The room was empty, just a broken chair, some wires, and a mirror cracked across the center. But on the mirror, written in dust, were the words, "Don't go to the basement." I backed out. My stomach turned. My flashlight flickered, then died. No warning. New batteries, gone. I fumbled for my backup, and heard footsteps above me, heavy ones. Logic left me. I started moving, not up, not out, down. The stairwell groaned as I descended to the basement level. My backup light barely lit the walls. The air grew colder, tighter, like breathing through a straw. A rusted sign above the hallway read, "Psychiatric ward, restricted access figures." Right. Every haunted hospital needs one. The doors down here weren't locked, just rotted. Most rooms had metal bed frames bolted to the floor. Some had restraints dangling like forgotten limbs. And the writing, hundreds of lines scrawled into the paint with fingernails or keys or God knows what. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Room after room. But it was room B12. I'll never forget. The door creaked open slowly, like it was waiting. Inside, the lights worked. That's right. Just that one room. Buzzing yellow fluorescence flickered overhead. The bed was intact. The walls were spotless. And someone was sitting in the corner. I don't know how I didn't see them at first. They were crouched, knees up, head down, wearing a hospital gown, skin pale, almost gray. I thought maybe it was a squatter, someone sick. I stepped in and asked if they needed help. They didn't move. Then they turned. Not fully, just their head, and I saw their face. Empty sockets where the eyes should have been, and a mouth sewn shut with wire. I froze, my voice caught in my throat. My light flickered, and the thing began to crawl. Fast, straight at me. I ran, through the hallway, into darkness. My light bouncing, my feet slipping. I could hear it behind me. Not footsteps scraping, like nails on tile. I ducked into a side room and slammed the door. I locked it and backed up. It was a morgue, cold, metal tables, body drawers. I climbed into one. It was claustrophobic, wet. I held my breath and waited. Then I heard it, outside the drawer, a whisper. "I see you." The drawer slid open by itself, just a few inches. I pushed back, kicked it, slammed shut again. Silence, then footsteps walking away. When I finally crawled out, the morgue was empty, but the door I had locked was wide open. I didn't walk. I ran, up the stairs, through the main floor, out the side entrance, into the gray daylight. My truck was untouched. I drove until I reached a gas station. I sat in the lot, hands shaking, heart pounding. My phone buzzed. It had been dead in the basement. Now it had one photo notification. I opened it. It was room B12, taken from inside, from the corner. But I wasn't in it. There was someone else, facing the wall, and written above their head, in blood-red letters, "He stayed." I never went back to St. Elora. They demolished the hospital the following year. Nothing about a psychiatric basement was ever on public record. But I know what I saw. I know what chased me. And sometimes, when I walk into a dark basement, I hear a whisper that makes my skin crawl. Stay.